We are back with our second guest on the show today, Jessica Sawinski with Brunswick County School Systems. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Jessica. Glad to have you here. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We've got 19 schools in Brunswick County from start to finish, from elementary school to high school. So we have a large range from anywhere from in Charlotte to Leland area. Tell us how many students we have in Brunswick County.
We currently have around 12,500 students in our 19 schools. Those students are educated in buildings that are about 2 million square feet.
Wow.
On around 700 acres of land. So our county continues to grow, and so do the needs of our school system.
I was with Judge Warren the other day, and he was talking about there are some plans in the works for some additional schools coming up.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. There absolutely are. So 2 years ago, Brunswick County Schools engaged in a facility study, and out of that facility study, there were over $200 million worth of needs identified. Right now, those have actually been scaled back to around $171 million. Those needs actually represent not only new building projects for our system, but also maintenance on the existing infrastructure that we do have. We have sort of been in a cycle of deferring major maintenance over the course of the last few years, and as a result of that, we annually see that our repair and renovation budget exceeds what is technically budgeted every year. Capital dollars are really generated by the taxpayers in Brunswick County,
right.
And annually our budget really is around $4 million. We've received a slight infusion from state lottery funds, about $750,000 a year, which kind of offsets some of our debt service that we're already paying on projects. Some of the things that we're currently dealing with really are in the north area of our county. We have a population explosion right now. Our Leland Middle School just has actually opened a modular village of 19 classrooms in the back. So then we also have North Brunswick High School, which right now has a tremendous number of mobile units, but one of the projects that was being discussed, or that will actually take place, is a new building that will actually go on the North Brunswick campus to add classroom space to replace those modular units. So we do have some projects in the works, but again, those are projects that are debt service to the county. There really are no new funding streams, no new revenue streams, and so we really have to think about the future and how are we going to continue to meet the needs of our county. We know that the Brunswick County citizens have a real understanding that a strong school system, a healthy school system, really is one of the key elements in making sure that we are economically stable in Brunswick County. And so we've appreciated their support in the past, and probably within the near future we'll be asking them again to consider a bond referendum to help offset some of these major building expenses that we're currently facing.
That's right. We see so many times there's a shortfall in education, and we hate to see that. So I think getting out and educating our public, our taxpayers, our voters on what is necessary to keep our schools up to par and to keep those grades. And I know you were talking about the new grading system recently.
Absolutely.
That went through legislature. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So North Carolina has historically produced a report card for every school in North Carolina and a summary for every school system. This year that report card was revised, and it really is a much better report card. It provides a great snapshot of how a school and a system are functioning. But added to that this year, the legislation actually was passed to include an A through F letter grade for every school in the state. And that was actually legislated, and the formula by which that letter grade was actually assigned was also legislated. So Brunswick County schools, over 3/4 of our schools received a grade of C or better on the report card. It is actually higher than the state average in Brunswick County. All of our high schools, all 4 of our high schools actually received a grade of C or higher, so 100% of them. But what we think is most important about the A through F grading scale is that 80% of that grade is really based on a one-time per year assessment that a student would actually take. So that's considered proficiency. That does not take into account any child in K through 2 in our school system, and it also does not take into account subjects like world languages, social studies, health and physical education. So it's very narrow in its scope. The other 20% of the grade is actually what we feel as educators is the most important, and that's growth. And basically, it's the assurance that when you send your children to school in Brunswick County, that they will receive a year's worth of benefit for the year that they have spent in our schools. To us, that's really the more important indicator. Children who come to us with certain risk factors may not be able to automatically be proficient on a state exam. But we can help guarantee that those children will make annual growth each year. So we hope that in the future that the legislation will change and that the formula will be more reflective of what we believe is most important, which is that individual growth for our students. It's also what the state bases teacher evaluation on and principal evaluation. So if growth is important in that regard, we hope it will be considered. Now, does that mean that this is not important, that the letter grade is not important? No. But we do want people to understand what it means.
Right.
It is not the be-all, end-all report card grade that most of us are familiar with or have gotten in our own past when we were in schools.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a whole different animal, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And we really do want people to go and check out those report cards. The link to those are right on the homepage of the Brunswick County Schools website, and they provide so much information about teacher quality, about teacher working condition survey, about discipline incidents. For me, it is a resource that I frequently point parents to when they're considering moving to our school system. It's really a great resource. But the grade that's on that report card, the letter grade, really is only one small piece of information about the total effectiveness of a child's school.
And talking about that online system too, that system is available for parents too to get a real-time picture of where their kids are in their studies and their grades.
Yes, absolutely.
And everything.
Absolutely. So North Carolina unrolled a package called Power School or Home Base. And within that, it's our student data management system. Every parent can access the parent portal. And if this is not something that we have parents in Brunswick County who are not signed into the parent portal, go to your child's school, get your child's password so that you can go in. It is 24/7 live time. It will tell you attendance. It will tell you progress report grades. It is a wonderful tool of communication between home and school. So please get out there and get those logins for parent portal.
Great resource.
Absolutely.
Yes. And what is your title, or what do you actually do for the school system?
I am very fortunate. I actually wear two kind of distinct hats in the system. I work with community engagement, so one of the things that I truly enjoy doing is working with all of the different support groups in Brunswick County. I also serve as the media liaison for the county, social media, and just try to keep internal and external communication flowing within the system. But the other part that I do, I'm actually a school administrator. I was a special education teacher and administrator for years. I was actually a North Carolina teaching fellow, so I'm very, I knew I wanted to be in the field of education. So I work with schools on school improvement and district improvement strategies. So I think the combination allows me to see a unique perspective when we do work with the community on different projects.
So folks that have watched the show this month and see this, what's a good way for them to get in touch if they have questions, and who do they need to contact? Would that be you?
Certainly. So if a parent has a question about what's happening in their child's classroom or their child's school, they should go directly to the child's teacher or to the principal of the school. If they have a question about county operations or how they can get involved, or any questions generally about our system, they can feel free to reach out to me. There is actually on our website a section that says Contact Us right on the homepage. If people click on Contact Us, they're actually communicating directly with me. Our system also has social media access, so Facebook is a great way to get some of those messages going, as well as Twitter. We actually do have a pretty strong Facebook following in the county.
Awesome.
With inclement weather obviously being something that's on people's minds. It really is sort of our go-to location for putting up most current information about our schools. So feel free to reach out.
And what is that website again? Address.
It is bcswan.net.
Okay.
And right on that homepage, you can also directly access our Facebook and Twitter feeds as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you, Jessica, for being on our show today. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
And one last thing for you folks to remember, the North Carolina State Constitution guarantees your children public education. So this is very important for everyone in North Carolina for educational purposes. So please be involved and get involved with what's going on in your children's lives.
Thank you, and we'll be right back.